Today we have another guest representing another nonprofit in the city of Long Beach. And our guest today is Patty Larson. And Patty is the director of Food Finders in the city of Long Beach. And I think it says what it is, but tell us what Food Finders is in the city of Long Beach.
We are basically a multi-regional food bank, not a traditional food bank, but we find food that is donated from grocery stores, caterers, restaurants, produce marts, and then that food is directly taken to shelters and agencies and youth centers and senior centers that are actually serving people who are underprivileged or needy.
So it isn't that you have a soup kitchen someplace, it's that you give them to the people and agencies that supply the food to the people.
Right, and we are the middleman basically who is sourcing the food so that a lot of these agencies that have other social services can focus on those services. And then the food is taken to them to actually prepare meals or hand out as pantry items and groceries.
And are there a lot of them in the city that give you food?
We have about 350 plus food donors right now, and they are all over. They're within Long Beach, but they're also in South Bay, LA, the Produce Mart downtown, and in Orange County as well.
And then do they bring them to you, or do they have them go directly to the shelters?
Well, all the food is going directly out. So our drivers that pick up and our volunteers all take the food directly to the places that is serving or using it.
So if a restaurant or someplace wants to give a lot of food, you have trucks and drivers?
Yes.
And they're all volunteers?
Well, 2 are staff drivers, and then we have a backup person that drives for us. But most of them are, they're volunteers who are using their vehicles, and they go out, and it's usually a very close radius to where they're picking up to where they're delivering.
And Food Finders organizes all of that?
Yes, we do all the logistics for that.
And do you have a staff? We
do. We have, 4 full-time staff and 3 part-time staff. So we have about 7 people right now, and we have a couple interns as well helping out.
So you have some money coming in through donors?
We do. We have our contributions coming from donors, private donors, businesses, grants.
That helps keep this going?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that right? Now, are they mainly from the city of Long Beach to the distributing places?
Oh, they're from all over. We actually cover LA, Orange County, so our donors vary from both regions. A lot of the agencies we serve are within the Long Beach area because that's where we started. So.
And do they bring you produce and things of that nature too? Or
yes,
is it mainly
absolutely.
Like what?
Well, we get produce. We get about 60 to 7% of what we pick up is produce, is fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right?
So a lot of what we're doing is helping improve nutrition for the people that are needy and impoverished. And then a lot of it is perishable items, things from restaurants, food that has to get out right away, and that's partly why we take it out same day.
Well, if I wanted to give, and I ran a restaurant and wanted to give food, what would I do?
You would contact us, and we would arrange for a time for pickup, and if you needed containers to store the food in, we would provide those as well.
But like one day I would give you a lot, and the next day I wouldn't give you very much. Do you have that? Or is it the same?
That happens a lot. We have regular pickups. Some are every day, some are once a week, some are once a month, but it varies. And then we adjust according to our agencies and shelters and when they're feeding people. So we try to get the food to them, in a timely manner. So if they're doing lunch, they get it the evening before, the morning of, when they're doing their meals, so that it's all planned, so the food can be as fresh as possible.
And did you tell me, I've forgotten, how many places distribute, or I mean how many places work directly with the homeless?
Receive the food? Well, we serve about 200 plus agencies and shelters, and that goes up and down a little bit.
Is that right?
And
every day?
On a regular basis, so probably within the month. Some serve food every day, some have food once a week or have a meal program once a week. Some it might be twice a month, so it just varies.
I see.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to be a place that received the food to give to my church or my recreation group, what would I do?
we require each place that we provide food to be a nonprofit as well. So they would all have to provide a 501c3 letter to us and then fill out an agency application. And that lets us determine what types of food you're looking for, how often, and who you're feeding. So we have an idea of what to be providing as people donate food to us. And if we have a donor in the area, we try to match up the donors as close to the agency as possible. So it's all staying within the same community that it's coming from.
And have you ever had an estimate of how many people you reach with this that would be almost starving without it?
Well, we try and manage each agency's number of people they serve. What we basically try and estimate based on is the pounds of food that we pick up. So based on an average, we feed or provide food for about 39,000 to 40,000 meals just on the amount of weight every day. So we pick up an average of 7 million pounds of food a year.
Wow.
And that's providing quite a few number of meals. It's not always a rounded out meal, but according to the number of pounds we pick up, it's about that much food, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And what was that number again?
39,000 pounds, or 39,000 meals.
Oh, for heaven's sake, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have this in our city, there would be 39,000 people that go without eating.
Right. I know it's shocking the number of people, and as you can imagine, the demand has gone up in the past years. But it is amazing how much we're able to provide, and there are a few places that if we don't provide food for them, they would not be able to keep their doors open. So there have been times when we've gone and done special purchases for some places just because the demand is so high.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, when did this start?
Back in 1989, our founder is Arlene Mercer, and many people are familiar with her.
Yes.
She
was in
started,
it a long time.
Yes, and she started because she saw food being thrown out in a dumpster and thought, that looks like perfectly good food. It's a shame that someone is over here and another block away digging in a dumpster to try and find food, and started to pair up places that had the leftovers with local agencies and tried to educate people about the Good Samaritan Law, which helps cover them for liability. So, yeah, and it started in her garage as a small effort and just grew to where we're now. It was, I think, 3,000 pounds of food the first 2 or 3 years that she started, and now we're almost at 100 million pounds of food rescued. So we're celebrating that as our 24th year.
That's wonderful. That's just amazing.
Thank you, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Patty, you've just done a wonderful job. And when did you start with them?
Well, I started as a volunteer back in 2009, and I came in to do a little bit of marketing and fundraising, and I was brought on more part-time, regular person, and then worked on the website and became more and more ensconced. And as Arlene retired a year and a half or 2 years ago, I guess it was, that's when they appointed me interim director. So,
well, I can't imagine doing anything that would be more satisfying and more feeling that you're really making a difference than providing food.
It is. It's a basic need. And you think about a lot of the kids that are going hungry or a lot of people going hungry are children, and for them to function in school, it's essential that they have this food.
Meals. Absolutely. And the facilities that take the food, what kind of is the breakdown with the shelters and the churches and is there a number like you have?
As far as how many are shelters or
how
people
many
that
are
we're
shelters
serving?
And how many?
I don't know the breakdown between churches and youth centers. I know there are quite a few churches and quite a few larger shelters. The shelters tend to have the larger people in need and the lines that go out the door. But they're everything from a sober living house with 4 or 6 people to, Long Beach Rescue Mission or COA or Dream Center downtown that has thousands of people that they serve each week.
And do these, if you give it to a church group, do they have people that take this and make meals out of them? They cook there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of them have kitchens, and they cook the meals based on what it is they get from us. So they don't always know what they're getting. They'd have to be very versatile. They are very versatile. I'm sure very talented cooks. Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, this is a real lesson for all of us to learn, because as you say, this is something that you need daily, and we have a lot of people that do need that daily. And I like your background. You ended up volunteering and ended up as a career now.
Yes.
But it makes you feel like you're doing something very important.
It does. And you know, one of the things we're working towards is increasing the level of nutrition education that each of our agencies will hopefully learn, you know, a little bit more. So as they're serving the food, we know that it's being prepared well. And then also just getting every food vendor, whether you're a restaurant or a bakery or what, to just really think about donating anything that's left over, so it doesn't go to waste.
Well, I hope you have more people call you now
Thank
by
you.
reviewing this, because
Me too.
this is just absolutely wonderful, and it's so good to know about this and to know what is happening in our city. And this is another good example of people caring for people, and I can't think of anything that's more fulfilling than what we've just heard in the last few minutes. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Judy Ross. I'm the Executive Director of the Long Beach Nonprofit Partnership, and we are so delighted to be partnering with Beverly O'Neill and PadNet, our new public access television network, with the Heart of Giving. This is an opportunity to really showcase our wonderful nonprofits in our community. The Long Beach Nonprofit Partnership helps nonprofits become strong and sustainable.
Welcome back to the Heart of Giving. We're finding out where the hearts are extended to our city, the activities that we have, the organizations that we have. This is a beautiful organization that you're going to understand much more about today. It's called Ability First, and Pat Schlosser is the center director. She's brought along Sandy and Mary Alice, who are going to add to the conversation. So I want to hear first, though, Barbara, about what is Ability First, because you know what those words mean, but you don't know what they mean to you and what this means as far as an organization.
Yes.
So I'm turning it over to you.
So thank you. First of all, we want to thank you for inviting us to be here today to let you know about who we are, and so that we can tell the City of Long Beach the services that Ability First provides. Ability First was established in 1926 as the Crippled Children's Society. It was once formed by the North LA Rotary Club to meet the needs of children who had polio. Luckily, polio was eradicated, and the Rotarians were wise enough to say, but there's a lot of other needs out there. And there were members who had children who had developmental special needs, including intellectual disabilities, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and now, of course, autism are some of the main disabilities that we provide at our center, which is located in Long Beach. All ages for certain programs.
I see. Okay.
So at the Long Beach Center, we provide an adult day program, 18 and over, for adults who need a constructive place to be 5 hours a day. So these are adults who have physical and or developmental disabilities, who have worked, want to work, or no longer need to work because they've done that before, and now they want a place to come and just socialize and have fun with their friends. So they come to our services 8:30 to 1:30 Monday through Friday. They leave at 8:30. They leave at, at 1:30, and the kids start coming at 1:45.
After school.
After school programming for special education students between the ages of 6 and 22. And then we have a warm water pool that is utilized by both the children and the adults, and we also open it up to the community. The water is between 88 and 90 degrees, so it meets a lot of needs of community members who have arthritis, arthritic conditions, who are recovering from injuries or illness, been released from therapy but want to continue their wellness, want to lose weight is really big, or they just want to come and feel better, aches and pains and joint stiffness.
The pool is for them, they can use that.
Correct, and it's a wonderful program that's operating 5 days a week.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So.
And the other two ladies, I think Sandy is a parent? A grandparent.
Yes, my grandson Nicholas has been attending Ability for 8 years now, and in the after-school program. He loves it. He's become so independent. He's not the same.
And he
little
wasn't
kid
that
he
wasn't
was.
that way before, huh?
No, not at all. His diagnosis is autism, so he has a lot of issues that he's dealing with. But the nice thing about Ability is that they take him out in the community. He gets the exposure. He learns the behavior. He gets to participate in programs that we would never have been able to provide for him. He's gone ziplining, camping, swimming, every amusement.
A lot of kids have never done that.
Skiing, yes, water skiing. Snow skiing, and he went to a surf class.
And that's all through Ability First. Do you have volunteers that help to do this?
We have a wonderfully well-trained staff who are assisted by volunteers from the community. We work closely with Cal State Long Beach City College, a lot of the local colleges, a lot of the local high schools, and it's a wonderful requirement that they ask their students to provide community service.
They are interning then?
Interning or volunteering.
I see.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good connections, because you need to train people to understand what you're facing. And then Mary Alice, I know Mary Alice. I've known her for a long time, and
She's a wonderful friend of our center.
Everything, I think she's been involved in everything in town, but I know that the Crippled Children's was one that you've been in for how long, Mary Alice?
I've been since we first started. I'm one of the members. There were originally 9 of the ladies that were decided that they needed to have a place to exercise, and this is where they used to go. And through the founder who was there before, Barbara, the director there, she had asked her to see if they would want to start a program where they could do fundraising for them, and this is how it all started. The ladies there, they were doctors. I think they were doctors' wives for the Long Beach Center Guild. And so they had a meeting, and they invited their friends, of which I was one of them. And before you knew it, they had here 50 ladies ready to start doing something for the center. And what we do mainly is financial. You
do fundraising projects.
Mainly fundraising. We have our biggest one right now is the fashion show that we do annually. Last year we were able to raise money for a computer program. And then this year we were real excited because they needed a van for wheelchairs, and then hopefully another one. And through the support and help of all of our members bringing their friends to the show, we were able to buy the 2 vans for the center, which is really nice because it's the wear and tear. And the wear and tear that goes on, because now they've been able to have both vans to take them all over the community.
That's wonderful.
To be able to do
something. So Mary
something.
Alice represents the group that volunteers and raises funds.
Correct.
And Sandy represents the families and what it does for the families. And how do you keep it all together so that and how many people do you have involved with this?
So in our day program, we have 38 adults. In our after-school program, we have 62 children. Our swimmers number over 300. And then we also have, which I didn't mention before, which some Friday, Saturday social recreational activities. Sandy was mentioning that we take her grandson to places throughout the community. And it's based on their choice and their needs. If they want to go to the latest movie, we're over at the town center watching a movie and going out to dinner and hanging out with their friends. So the primary purpose of our programs is to promote choice and have our participants have opportunities that you or I might want to have with our friends. And at the same time, give our families a break so they can have some time at home by themselves as well.
Caregivers.
And I think Sandy would tell you they appreciate that greatly.
Oh yeah. A caregiver for children or elderly or someone at home you really need a break.
Yeah.
You need a break.
They deserve a break, and at the same time, our participants want a break too.
And they want to be there.
Exactly. They want to be with their friends, and they want to try new and different things. And our job is to try to make that happen.
How do you, if I had a child or if I needed something, how do I I mean, can I just come in and say, I'd like you to see my child? And
we would love to schedule an appointment with you so that we were ready to do an intake process, because we want to make sure we're an appropriate placement. And that would just entail coming down to our center and seeing what we have to offer, bringing your son or daughter, seeing what we do, and then seeing if it's a good fit. And Sandy has been there and to tell you the process. And our goal is to see if we have services that can meet your needs, and if we can't, to try to find you somewhere else that can.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I think is really interesting, because we have a lot of very well-known people who have been co-chairing with us and helping us, like Lee Merriweather is one of our honorary chairs, and Jacqueline Smith, they are two, and there are a couple of them. Who's the one with the chains?
Mr. T.
Mr. T,
Oh, my
yes,
goodness.
yeah.
Oh
So
my, he would
but
command
you know,
attention if he walked in.
He was very popular with our
but he was
participants.
very popular, and they have come to the center off and on throughout the years to be a part of our activities, which I think have been wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, if you have it in your heart and there's a way that you can express it the way you're doing, you have to feel good too.
Definitely.
So it makes you feel as good as the good you're doing, correct?
Right.
Yes, it's not just a job.
That's right. That's wonderful.
It is not. So as a private nonprofit, you go to work every day knowing that you can try to make a difference in someone else's life.
And just quickly, how much staff do you have?
On site, we have 15 full-time staff, and then the part-time staff varies depending on the time of year. We're gearing up for the summer, so we're looking for anywhere from 20 to 35 part-time staff persons to be able to run our programs. These are staff, and we would love volunteer help as well. We would love people to come and see what we do. We're on Willow between Grand and Redondo.
That was my next question. Where are you?
We're on Grand and Redondo, right next to the DMV.
I see. Well, this has been so informative, and there's a lot of heart in what you're saying here today, and that's what we're really all about with this program, is the heart of giving, and that's what you're doing, and congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you again for finding out more about the nonprofits in the city of Long Beach. We're pleased that you listened and watched again the Heart of Giving. Bye-bye.